I came to Restore because I was grossly obese. I was pre-diabetic. I was totally out of shape and sedentary. And I was on the verge of illness. I was entering into illness. I picked Restore because I found that they had university-educated people who specialized in exercise physiology, nutrition, and medical physiology. And these things, as an advanced practice nurse, I recognize these things as being most important to making a lifestyle change. The other fitness centers that I looked at, the national chains, they have people who may be trained to help you move in an exercise treatment plan. They may be trained for a week, a month, maybe a couple of months. And they may not necessarily know how to individualize your plan or make modifications to accommodate limitations you may have in terms of injury or rehab after surgery. In my case, I didn't have a surgery. I was simply sedentary. As healthcare providers, I believe that we separate ourselves from the patient in a way that we recognize these things happening in the patient's world, but we are looking at that situation in terms of how we can treat that problem. And so I was not in the habit of internalizing what I saw happening to other people. And it was not until I realized that these things were happening to me after I took a step back when I retired. I took a step back and saw these things happening to me and knew that I did not want to have limitations on my freedom. One of the coaches that I meet with is a registered nurse and an experienced nutritionist. And she has helped me to see ways in which I could modify my diet to achieve my goals. I thought that as long as I was eating 3 meals a day and taking my multivitamins, that I was well nourished, and I was sadly mistaken. She showed me things like limiting the amounts of carbohydrates that I ingest, watching the fat intake, and really balancing my plate in terms of the amounts of vegetables that I consume, the amounts of protein, and healthy fats.
So what do you eat now? What's your diet?
My diet now consists of about 6 cups of green leafy vegetables a day and 2 servings of healthy protein and also 3 servings of healthy fat a day. I happen to be insulin resistant, and insulin resistance is caused by large intake of sugar, which stimulates more and more insulin production by the body. And so this leads you to be resistant to insulin. The insulin doesn't get the nourishment into the cells because insulin is the key that unlocks the door to get the nutrition into your cells. I do some cardio on the treadmill. I happen to like the treadmill. Some people would rather be on a bicycle or a stair climber. All of those things are cardio. And then I also do group classes, which is more of a strength circuit training class. And different muscle groups are targeted with each station. I was buying my clothes in the women's plus size department at the highest size available. Now I shop in the Mrs. size department. So I have lost many sizes. I have many more options available and prettier clothes available. As well as, I think every woman can relate to this, I had about 4 different sizes of wardrobes at home in my closets. I went shopping in my closet and pulled out things that I loved from 10 years ago that I can now wear again that still look great. I would say that it has affected my confidence. I am much more confident, and part of that is the different way that people look at me. I think people tend, when you're outside of the norm, people try not to look at you. I get more eye-to-eye contact now. People seem to be more respectful of me, which, it's a little troubling that that's something that our culture does, but it is in fact true. I had an initial assessment before I started with the exercising and the classes. I met with my coach, with my nutritionist, and they developed a plan, an individual plan for me. They made the exercises appropriate for my level of skill at the time, and I was helped to develop a dietary plan and menu plans that would help move me into a new lifestyle, a new change, which it's not a diet, it is a lifestyle change, because I am now eating things that I know are good for me and are healthy for me to have. I'm making better choices, and I'm able to modify recipes that I have at home to include less added sugar, less processed foods, and more clean foods. I saw results within the first probably 2 weeks. I felt better. Just feeling better alone was huge for me. But the weight did start to come off very quickly as soon as I lowered the amount of sugar and processed foods in my diet. I am no longer pre-diabetic. My last hemoglobin A1C was 5.3. I think I started out somewhere near 6. Well, there are people at Restore of all ages. There are people that go to Restore that are athletes, that are training for competition, for bicycling, for weight training. So there's that group of people. There is a group of people that tend to come in the morning classes that are my age. Yesterday was my birthday. I'm 64. There are people who are in their 70s and 80s, and they are maintaining their health with the physical exercise that they do in the classes. So there's that group. And then there's another group of people who are a younger group of people who are still working, and so they come in the afternoons. There's a 4:30 and sometimes 5:30 class. And that group of people, their exercise class is a little more challenging. As you become more fit, you look for more challenging workouts. And so that group of people helps keep me moving forward with my fitness program. Because again, we interact with each other, we give each other encouragement so that we keep moving forward. I think you need to look at where your situation is headed right now. And I think there's enough information out there that people are aware at some level, even if it is only subliminal, that if you keep a sedentary lifestyle, you don't pay attention to your diet, and you don't move, you lose your freedom. And freedom is a very important thing. As you get older, as you age, that is something people are very afraid of, losing their freedom and losing their mobility. And you lose it because you have balance problems, or your bones become brittle because of nutrition, or your muscles just waste because you're not using them. So it's important, even if you're not intending to lose weight necessarily, but just to keep your freedom and keep your mobility, you need to work the joints and the bones and the muscles so that you keep your freedom and your mobility. I made the mistake because I was so ashamed of the way that I looked. I made myself lose 10 pounds before I would even think about investigating a gym. And I would say, don't wait to lose the 10 pounds. Come to Restore, where they'll show you how to efficaciously begin a new lifestyle. Restore is a medical fitness center, so these people understand how your body works and how to make it work best for you, because each individual has different body chemistry and has a different reason why they have put on the pounds. I will never be fat again. I will never get into those clothes that I have left behind. They are being donated, and I am moving forward. I'm never going back. Restore Medical Fitness Center changed my life.